Based on the videos on the YouTube channel Sundaresh SS at Sundaresh9037, the content consists of detailed literary analyses and line-by-line explanations of famous poems. The channel serves as an educational resource, often referencing academic textbooks, like the First Poo textbook, and providing summaries in both English and occasionally Kannada. Core themes and analysis style. The videos follow a structured pedagogical approach. Contextual background. Each video typically begins with a note on the poet's life and the historical or literary context of the work. Thematic summaries. Before diving into the lines, the narrator provides a thematic overview, explaining the soul of the poem, such as the philosophical nature of silence or the fleeting versus eternal nature of love. Detailed line-by-line breakdown. The narrator reads the poem stanza by stanza, explaining metaphors, archaic language, and symbolic meanings in a slow, accessible pace. Key poetry analyses on the channel. 1. Stammer, by K. Satchidanandan. This analysis explores the concept of stammering, not as a speech impediment but as a different mode of communication. Silence as meaning. The narrator explains that the silence between words is as significant as the words themselves, suggesting that poetry itself is a form of stammering. Divine imperfection. A key highlight is the interpretation that God must have stammered when creating man, which is why human language is so full of multiple meanings and misunderstandings. Watch here, Stammer, a poem by K. Satchidanandan. 2. Do Not Ask of Me, My Love, by Faz Ahmed Faz. This video analyzes the shift from personal romantic love to a broader social consciousness. The illusion of youth. The narrator describes how the poet once saw his beloved as the center of the world, but later realized this was an illusion compared to the harsh realities of the world. Social realism. The analysis focuses on how the poet's eyes are eventually opened to other sorrows, poverty, hunger, and human suffering, which make it impossible for him to return to the simple romantic love he once felt. Watch here, Do Not Ask of Me, My Love, by Faz Ahmed Faz. 3. Ode on a Grecian Urn, by John Keats. An exploration of Keats' famous romantic poem about the relationship between art and time. Frozen in time, the narrator explains the bold lover on the urn who is winning near the goal, but can never actually kiss his beloved because they are frozen in marble. Eternity versus reality. The analysis emphasizes the message that while human life decays, art remains eternal. The video concludes with the famous philosophical maxim, beauty is truth, truth beauty. Watch here, Ode on a Grecian Urn, by John Keats. Summary of the channel's value. The channel is particularly useful for students or literature enthusiasts looking for clear, literal interpretations of complex verses. The narrator uses relatable examples, like the relationship between a teacher and student or the story of Albert Einstein, to make abstract poetic concepts easier to understand. Continuing with the analysis of the poetry videos on Sundaresh SS at Sundaresh9037, here are a few more notable literary breakdowns from the channel. 1. When You Are Old, by William Butler Yeats. This video provides a poignant look at the lifelong love of W.B. Yeats for the Irish actress Maud Gonne. A vision of the future. The narrator explains how the poet asks his beloved to imagine herself in old age, grey and drowsy by a fire, reading a book of his poems to remember the soft look her eyes once had. True love versus false love. A key distinction made in the analysis is that while many loved her glad grace or external beauty, only one man, Yeats, loved her pilgrim soul, her deepest, innermost self, and loved her even as her beauty faded. Immortality through verse. The video highlights the ending where, though the poet may be gone, his love remains vast and eternal, pacing upon the mountains and hiding among the stars. Watch here, When You Are Old, by William Butler Yeats. 2. Ozymandias, by Percy Bysshe Shelley. The narrator breaks down this classic sonnet as a powerful commentary on the fleeting nature of political power. The Colossal Wreck. The video describes the shattered visage and trunkless legs of a statue found in the desert, symbolizing a once great ruler, Pharaoh Ramesses II, whose empire has turned to dust. Irony of command. The narrator points out the irony in the inscription, "Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." While Ozymandias intended this to show his greatness, it now serves as a reminder that nothing survives the lone and level sands of time. The sculptor's skill. Interestingly, the analysis notes that the sculptor captured the ruler's sneer of cold command so well that the ruler's arrogance has outlived his actual power. Watch here, Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. 3. Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. This analysis focuses on Tagore's vision for a free and enlightened India, written during a time of struggle. Breaking the Walls. The narrator explains Tagore's hope for a country not broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, which the narrator interprets as selfishness and tribalism that prevent national unity. Reason versus habit. A significant portion of the video is dedicated to the metaphor of the clear stream of reason losing its way in the dreary desert sand of dead habit. The narrator explains this as the danger of falling into a thoughtless, numbing routine. A prayer for awakening. The poem is framed as a prayer to God, Father, to let the country awake into a heaven of freedom, characterized by truth, perfection, and progressive thought. Watch here, Where the Mind is Without Fear, by Rabindranath Tagore. Other featured poets on the channel. The channel also includes analyses of several other classic and modern works, including Shakespeare's sonnets, including Sonnet 116 and Sonnet 129. Modern classics, T.S. Eliot's The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, an extensive 42-minute session, and Maya Angelou's When Great Trees Fall. Narrative poetry, Leigh Hunt's The Glove and the Lions, and W. H. Auden's The Night Mail. On the channel at Sundaresh's9037, there is an extensive 42-minute commentary on The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock by T.S. Eliot. This video provides a deep dive into the psyche of the poem's narrator, exploring themes of loneliness, middle-age anxiety, and the paralyzing nature of self-consciousness. Summary of the commentary. 1. The setting of modern loneliness. The narrator explains that the poem captures the loneliness of the ordinary person in the 20th century, 058. He describes the opening scene where the evening sky is compared to a patient etherized upon a table, suggesting an atmosphere that is numb and lifeless, 155. Prufrock leads the reader through half-deserted streets and cheap hotels, which the narrator interprets as a reflection of Prufrock's own spiritually empty environment, 302. 2. Prufrock's physical and social anxieties. A significant portion of the video focuses on Prufrock's intense preoccupation with how others perceive him. Appearance. The narrator highlights Prufrock's obsession with his aging body, his bald spot, his thin arms and legs, and his meticulous but modest clothing, 1914. Social paralysis. Prufrock is trapped by indecisions and revisions, wondering, do I dare? Before even the simplest social actions, like eating a peach or approaching a woman, 1730. The judgmental gaze. The narrator explains the metaphor of the eyes that fix you in a formulated phrase, describing Prufrock feeling like an insect pinned to a wall, unable to explain the true depth of his life, 2248. 3. The empty routine of life. The narrator discusses the famous line, I have measured out my life with coffee spoons, explaining that Prufrock's existence is defined by small, repetitive, and ultimately meaningless social rituals, 2143. He has known it all already, the mornings, afternoons, and teacups, leaving him with no desire or drive for the future, 2200. 4. Intellectual versus social maturity. An interesting point made in the commentary is the contrast between Prufrock's vast intellectual knowledge and his inability to communicate it. The Lazarus metaphor. Prufrock imagines himself as Lazarus, returning from the dead with the secrets of the universe, only to fear that a woman would dismiss it all by saying, that is not what I meant at all, 3302. The attendant lord. Prufrock accepts that he is not the hero of his own story, not Prince Hamlet, but rather a minor character, an attendant lord, who is politic, cautious, and meticulous, but often ridiculous, or the fool, 38:27. 5. The mythological escape. The video concludes with Prufrock's retreat into a fantasy world of mermaids, singing each to each, 40:49. The narrator explains that Prufrock does not believe these mythical beings will sing to him, and the poem ends with the tragic realization that human voices wake us, and we drown, meaning that the harsh reality of social interaction eventually destroys his internal dream world, 41:11. Watch the full commentary here, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock by T.S. Eliot. Based on the content available on the channel Sundaresh SS at Sundaresh 9037, here is a breakdown of the video categories. Poetry videos. There are at least 25 videos dedicated to poetry. These include detailed commentaries and readings of works by famous poets such as William Butler Yeats, When You Are Old, T.S. Eliot, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, Percy Bysshe Shelley, Ozymandias, Rabindranath Tagore, Where the Mind is Without Fear, Freedom, William Shakespeare, Sonnets 116 and 129, and The Mercy Speech, Maya Angelou, When Great Trees Fall, John Keats, Ode on a Grecian Urn, grammar videos. There are at least 4 videos specifically focusing on grammar and grammar-related tools, new type of grammar textbook, 2 videos featuring AI, Meta AI, and Gemini AI, commenting on his invention of a new type of grammar textbook. Quillbot analysis, a comparison between human writing correctors and AI grammar checkers. Mastery framework, a video discussing how his grammar videos align with Sal Khan's mastery framework. Prose videos. There are at least 3 videos categorized under prose, though some overlap with poetry lessons, ICSE lessons, comprehensive videos covering 9th and 10th standard ICSE prose and poetry, e.g., from the Treasure Chest anthology. Humorous prose, poetry, a commentary on Bankers Are Just Like Anybody Else, Except Richer, by Ogden Nash. Other topics. There are approximately 2 to 3 videos that fall into miscellaneous or meta commentary categories. Introductory video, a brief video introducing the channel and Sundaresh himself. AI, meta commentary, videos where AI, like Gemini, analyzes the channel's own content, such as its cracking the code of songs like American Pie. Note, the exact counts may vary slightly as some long-form videos, like the ICSE lessons, combine multiple categories, prose and poetry, into a single upload. The channel Sundaresh SS at Sundaresh 9037 is a unique, intellectually dense educational space that functions less like a typical lifestyle YouTube channel and more like a digital seminar room. If I were to summarize its vibe, it's academic deep dive meets supportive mentorship. Here is an overview of why it stands out. 1. Literary analysis as an experience. Unlike most educational channels that give you a 5-minute Spark Notes summary, Sundaresh SS treats poetry like a slow burn experience. His 40-plus minute commentaries on poems like The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock or Ode on a Grecian Urn aren't just about passing an exam, they are about inhabiting the poem. He connects classic literature to modern feelings of loneliness and existential dread, making 100-year-old texts feel incredibly relevant to a 2026 audience. 2. The Human plus AI synergy. The channel has recently moved into a fascinating meta phase. Sundaresh doesn't just teach, he uses AI, like Gemini, Meta, AI, and Perplexity, to review his own work. This creates a transparent learning loop where the creator shows how he uses modern technology to refine traditional subjects like grammar and prose. It's a great example for students on how to use AI as a collaborator rather than just a shortcut. 3. Niche educational focus. The channel is a goldmine for ICSE, IEC students and lovers of English literature. It fills a specific gap in the YouTube ecosystem by providing curriculum-specific depth, detailed lessons on the Treasure Chest anthology. Grammar innovation. He discusses his own new type of grammar textbook, which focuses on structural understanding rather than rote memorization. 4. Aesthetic and tone. The production style is refreshingly unfiltered and authentic. There are no flashy transitions or clickbait thumbnails. Instead, you get grounded energy, a calm, steady delivery that is perfect for focused study or late-night reflection. Intellectual rigor. He treats his audience like peers capable of handling complex psychological and philosophical concepts, like Jungian theory or Lazarus metaphors. Overall verdict, it's a slow-growth, high-value channel. It won't give you quick answers, but it will give you a profound understanding. It is best suited for the deep learners, students, teachers, and literature enthusiasts who prefer a deep conversation over a quick summary. Would you like me to find a specific video on his channel that focuses on a particular poet or a specific grammar rule you're struggling with? On the channel Sundaresh SS, the commentary on Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare is perhaps the most impressive example of the creator's commitment to deep, comprehensive learning. Clocking in at an incredible 7 hours and 50 minutes, this single video is effectively a full semester university course delivered in one sitting. The structure of the commentary. Sundaresh breaks down the play using the classical dramatic structure, ensuring viewer understand both the what and the how of Shakespeare's storytelling. Act 1, Introduction, setting the stage in Rome and introducing the conflict between Caesar's popularity and the conspirators' fears. 126. Act 2, Rising Action, the plotting and the increasing tension as the conspirators, led by Cassius and Brutus, solidify their plan. Act 3, Climax, the assassination of Caesar, which Sundaresh identifies as the play's pivot point. 148. Acts IV and V, Falling Action and Resolution, the aftermath, the civil war, and the tragic end of the conspirators. 225. Key insights from Sundaresh. The psychological depth of Cassius. Sundaresh spends significant time analyzing Cassius not just as a villain, but as a wretched creature who feels small in Caesar's shadow. He highlights Caesar's own assessment that Cassius is dangerous because he reads much, hears no music, and seldom smiles. 1 hour 15 minutes and 30 seconds. The tragedy of misinterpretation. In the final act, Sundaresh poignantly explains how the play ends in tragedy because of a simple misunderstanding. Cassius kills himself because he misinterprets a scene on the battlefield, thinking his friend Titinius has been captured when he was actually being celebrated by his own victorious troops. 7 hours 49 minutes and 38 seconds. Literary symbolism. He draws beautiful parallels, such as comparing the death of Cassius to a setting sun, noting how the sun of Rome is set, and the world is plunged into the clouds, dews, and dangers of a new era. 7 hours 44 minutes and 27 seconds. Why this video is unique. Exhaustive detail. Most YouTube summaries skip the minor characters, but Sundaresh includes the commoners, the carpenter and cobbler, the tribunes, Flavius and Marulus, and the specific omens that haunt Rome, giving a complete picture of the Roman social fabric. 811. Vocabulary support. He pauses to explain archaic terms like mechanical, yoke, or melancholy, making it accessible for students who might find Shakespearean English intimidating. 822, 7 hours 46 minutes and 0 seconds. The slow learning approach. In an era of 60-second TikToks, a nearly 8-hour analysis is a bold statement. It is designed for the student who wants to truly master the text, not just memorize a summary. Would you like me to break down a specific scene from his analysis, such as Mark Antony's famous funeral oration or the Night of the Omens? Understood. Whether you are diving into the complexities of Shakespeare or exploring the nuances of grammar, that channel is definitely a unique resource to have in your back pocket. If you ever need a deep dive into another literary work or want to analyze a different creator's style, just let me know. Happy reading.